Time now for the Mark Kotsay Show here on A's Cast and A's Cast Live, brought to you by NestBedding.com. Love where you sleep. You go to Nest Bedding, you get your mattress, your pillows, your bedding. Use the coupon code Oakland to get bedding.com. Mark Kotsay back on the road. How are you today?
Doing well. As you can see, sitting in my office bright and early here and just prepping for a big game today against the Royals.
I got to say, the decorations in that office, this might be the best office we've seen so far.
Yeah, I can take you around, Townie. Hold on one second. Let me lift this up.
We got
here.
baseball cards.
You got baseball cards and of managers, legendary managers. One that I played for right there, Bobby Cox. So a lot of history in here.
You know, during the times that you're going through right now, when you talk about the legendary guy, because you played for guys that are either in the Hall of Fame or someday will be in the Hall of Fame. At this point right now, what do you think you take from them?
Well, I think I sit here and look at, a manager and Bobby Cox and the success he had with those teams, with the Braves in, the 90s, or excuse me, is it 90s? Yeah, in the
90s.
Bruce Bochy, I'm sitting here with his Padre card and know what Boch went through when I played for him in 01, 02, 03, grinding seasons. You laugh because Tommy Lasorda is here. I'm sure he's pointing at an umpire, not pointing at the bullpen, but who knows, right? Yeah, I mean, these are all great men that have done an amazing job in the game and been a part of the game for so long, the history, and that's kind of what you take from them, just the perseverance and longevity of their careers. They went through ups and downs as well.
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, when you think Bobby Cox's career, I mean, before he got to the Braves, then even his young Braves teams, they had some big time struggles. I mean, go back to Bruce Bochy and some of those 90s teams. So it happens to everybody. But you always see one thing, though. The key is the fight, to keep the fight going. How much are you still seeing that, and how much do you like that in your guys?
Yeah, no, I do like that in the guys. I think we've seen that, especially over the last week. The series that we just came off. It's a tough series. It was a grinding series against a division rival who, we haven't had a ton of success against in the last few years, even with the 2020 team, 2021 team. It's good to see the fight. It's good to see the progress. We have to stay focused on those positives and know that we can get this thing turned around. That we just need some momentum. Obviously, a win brings confidence, and that's what we're looking for, and that's what we're striving for every day.
Obviously it's about you and not so much the other teams, but looking at the two teams you're playing on this trip, when you start looking at the Kansas City Royals, they've had some struggles. There's no doubt about it. And the New York Yankees, you're catching them at a time. They have so many guys on the IL. They are also struggling. So here's some opportunities when you say on the road for your ball club.
Yeah. I mean, every day is an opportunity, right? To go out and to win a game, to start building momentum in that direction. And this team that we're playing, the Royals, they're going through a very similar process as we are. They've got a lot of young players. They do have some veteran players mixed into that group. But ultimately, we're two teams fighting to have success, to build these guys up, to watch them mature and become everyday major league players. And we're watching that ourselves every day with guys like Ruiz and Rooker and Noda and now Blade, who just joined us. And obviously our pitching staff. It's Mueller, Waldachuk, Sears, Miller, names like that. We're maturing and watching them grow.
Yeah, we got to get into Rooker about being American League Player of the Week. It's a really a special deal. But just one more on your team. When you look at bringing in 3 new guys in the bullpen, what does that say to the team and the clubhouse when it's just not one guy out, one guy in, where it's a group of guys out and a group of guys in?
No, it's a statement. I think it's a statement in terms of, performance is going to dictate, um, how we go forward, and the moves that are being made, the moves that were made. I think sends a loud and clear message to the clubhouse. That we're not going to sit on our hands and not do anything, not try anything, not give guys opportunity. That we're having success in AAA, and that's my job to continue to manage the culture. And that was the message yesterday in the locker room before the game. It's, hey, look, my goal is to keep this group together, but at the end of the day, they're going to make change, and they're going to do what they need to do to improve this club. And if that means swapping 3 guys out and bringing 3 new guys in that showed that they earned that opportunity yesterday in the game, and I think that's the direction that this front office and it has taken a stance on.
Brent Rooker made the team, according to David Forrest, on the last night, and now AL Player of the Week. Gone through a little bit of a rough patch since, but his numbers are fantastic. Just how happy were you for him, his journey, everything he's been through to get an award like that?
Yeah, it says a lot about that young man's character, his work ethic. They had him on, I think it was Intentional Talk or one of the MLB broadcasts, and what a great kid. I mean, he spoke so highly of just the organization, the opportunity. He spoke highly of the teams that he had come from. The situation that he was put in this offseason with moving to different teams and not knowing where he was going to get the chance to land, but landing here and having the right frame of mind when he came to camp, that whatever team it was that he was going to go to camp with, he wanted to make the team out of camp, and he accomplished that goal. And out of the gates, didn't get the opportunity to start, but when he did, he captured that moment. And like I talked to a lot of young players, like that opportunity might be one at bat, it might be one game, and he had a big impact in the first game, and he hasn't been out of the lineup since.
And it says a lot about you too, the fact that you go, hey, you keep hitting, you're hitting third. Like, you haven't moved that. That shows everybody, like, you produce, you will play, and you will play every day.
Yeah, and he alluded to a little bit of that too, the confidence it gives him to be in that lineup every day. These guys, it's tough. It is tough. It's challenging when you get one at bat or one game to play and you don't have success. You're out of the lineup the next day and you sit around, right? So for him, he sees the moment like we talked about, and he's going to sit in that 3-hole. He's still continuing to take good at bats. I know the series against Seattle was a bit challenging. They exposed a little bit of his hole at the plate, but he grinded some at bats out yesterday. Managed to get a hit and a walk, I think, and get on base. And so that shows that maturation process as well in terms of making the adjustment. The league's always going to make adjustments to you. Now you got to make adjustments back to them.
Well, speaking of adjustments, a guy that can win games a lot of different ways. I mean, it can be his feet, it can be his glove, it can be his bat. Ruiz is really showing us how he can affect an entire series, not only a game, but a series. I think you're just scratching the surface with this young kid. What are you seeing with your center fielder?
No, I think you described it very well. And he's dynamic in multiple areas. The success he's had with hitting with runners in scoring position this year stands out. The ease that he has to steal a base, the confidence he has in that. And then yesterday he hit a ball in the right center that, got to the wall. But I mean, he was literally could have stood up on third base. I think he might have caught Nick Allen if they were off to the races. So it's fun to watch. He's really, we talk about it. We've talked about it on the show. He's come as advertised, and he's living up to that expectation level right now.
It is amazing to me. I mean, I know how long you played center field. It just seems, first rule of outfield is you can't allow the ball to get behind you. Everything's got to be in front of you. And it is amazed me, like, even, with that triple you're talking about. I mean, as soon as Kelenic lays out and he's not even close and the ball gets behind him, I'm thinking inside the park home run. I mean, can you remember the last time you've seen so many times that center fielders have made poor judgments, not kept the ball in front of them, dive for balls where they weren't even close, and the ball's going to the wall, and everybody's running?
I think just, we could dive really deep into this one, Townie, but experience, right? Kellenick's young player, trying to make an impact in the game, aggressive mentality, mindset. And, we had that play earlier this year with Ruiz coming
Yeah.
in hard on a knuckleball line drive, dove nowhere near it, goes to the wall. So I think we're seeing more youth in the outfield, less experience, and I think that's that's kind of a combination for those type of plays that have happened.
Let's end on this. You got a barbecue spot in Kansas City? Or does it come to the ballpark to you, or is there a spot you got to go to?
No, there's a spot in the plaza. You put me on the spot, so obviously I can't get the name, to you, but they do bring a barbecue spread in, which will be on Sunday, and the burnt ends and the ribs, chicken, and so yes, it's a great place to be.
Yeah, my favorite, Kansas City Joe's, Jack Stacks, Gates. It's like no matter where you go in Kansas City, you're not going to lose. It is such a great city and a fun time. Well, have a good road trip against the Royals and the Yankees, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, Tony. Thanks, bud.
That's the Mark Kotsay Show, brought to you by nestbedding.com. Your mattress, your pillows, your bedding, you name it. You use the coupon code to get the special. You go to nestbedding.com.